Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Third Action. I'm your lovely host, Jason, and these are the same three adventurers, I guess, that were here last year.
Aww.
Starting from the bottom left, we have Asherford Human Ranger, played by Char.
Happy 2022. I hope it's a better year than 2021.
Bottom middle, we've got a Greshy Ironroot Dwarven Druid, played by Will.
Oh, it's the same as every other year. It'll be fine. Or we'll all die. Something.
And at the bottom right, we have Adam playing Gunn, Human Champion of Erastil.
I think maybe we could have been fish in a barrel.
Ah, that would have worked
too. We're carrying around a barrel of fish.
That's true.
Might be.
Yeah. All right.
That water's gonna freeze.
Let's do that. In any case, last time on Third Action. Our group of intrepid adventurers made a heroic escape from the Rune Forge, jailbreaking a bunch of animals, including a whole barrel full of fish, from the Vaults of Greed, the Greed Wing of said place. That's kind of the sum of that. You found some cool stuff. You rescued a bunch of animals, including a giant bear that is currently following you around. You returned to the Wrathwing, where you activated the Master Circle, which teleported you into some kind of large cavern. It is dark, very dark. I don't believe... So, I forget who has dark vision here. I think it's just...
I think it's just Greshy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're all prone on the ground. Your eyes flicker open, and you can see kind of each other. Each of you has like plenty of runes and weapons and things that kind of give off very, very light glows. So you can see in the kind of dim light around you all. You hear the sound of the bear kind of groaning and getting up to its feet. Gresh, you can watch as it's kind of standing up on its hind legs and looking around. But otherwise, there's no light in this cavern. Greshy, you can see it's just a big open cavern. There's lots of large bits of rubble all around. Looks like maybe perhaps a cave-in happened recently or something. Like there's clearly like big chunks of stalagmites. Stalagmites. No, mite is punch up.
Stalactites.
Tite is, yes, stalactites.
Tight is coming from the ceiling, I guess.
Tights, they hold on. You have to hold on tight to the ceiling. Mites, they fist. Rah.
Stalactite for ceiling, stalagmite for ground.
Yeah. There's stalactites.
That's how I remember.
They're on the ground.
That's mine as well.
Yes, there's bits of crumpled stalactites all around.
Greshy just barely.
Yeah. Just from the glowing runes on his
face.
Oh. Yes, very.
Can I see? Is he reacting to? Does he look completely freaked out?
Freaked out. Does he?
Would he have seen something that would cause him to be like panicking? If he's not panicking, I'm going to cast Dark Vision on myself.
As of right now, I haven't seen anything that would cause panic. I just don't know where we are yet.
I'll wait a few seconds and watch Greshy's face.
Well, Greshy's going to stand up and start to look around in more detail then.
Okay. If he's
you look around and the room is...
then I will take that as enough of a sign to also cast Dark Vision. I can't unfortunately cast it for Asher anymore because I signaturized it at my last level up. Last level up.
That's okay, because guess who has the dark vision spell now? It's me.
Hey,
I messed up a little on giving myself spells, and I actually could give myself 2 more. So I now have a very good dark vision.
nice.
Okay. So, as Greshy is looking about, sounds like the two of you are casting Dark Vision. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So Greshy, you spot it first, but there is an opening, a large opening, in the cavern wall, about maybe 100 feet to the north. Well, I mean, just yeah, you wouldn't know the direction down here.
Over to my right or something.
Yeah, over to your right. Yeah. Actually, I guess in this case it would be to your left. Yeah. From the direction that you
Fair.
happen to be facing.
The other right.
Yes, the other right. If you spin
Have-
right long enough, you'll eventually see it.
I suppose I have a theory.
But otherwise, it seems like just a big open
it
cavern.
seems like
It's massive.
maybe the space that's in the mountain where we went in correlates to the shape of the Runeforge. And so if we teleported back from one of the wings, we might be in one of those empty side chambers now.
I suppose that's possible then. Would it put us in the Wrathwing or where the Wrathwing was in this idea, or would it put us in the entry way, like how when we got there we were in the entry?
Wrath wing.
Hmm.
Like I think we left from the center of the material plane and landed in the center of the Runeforge, and then we went into one of the wings to come back, so we're probably in that.
When we landed in the Runeforge, we landed in a room that was to the south of the actual center.
Ah,
That's kind of what I'm wondering is
Fair.
happening here, is if we ended up in the similar place, or in the equivalent place here if it did come out of the mountain.
my thinking is that that maybe they took the space from the inside of the mountain and turned that into the Runeforge somehow.
I could see that. Probably easier than trying to just craft it out in the middle of wherever that demiplane is.
Yeah.
We should probably
Anyway.
get moving.
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
walk.
if that's the case, then this would lead us back to the center, probably.
Well, let's
And
take
if
a look.
not, we have an adventure on our hands.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the bear can see us enough to follow along, or is getting out on its own. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good question. Do bears have dark vision?
They have at least low light, I think.
I know, Phelan's wolf-based, but he has imprecise sense, but
Yeah.
Don't think
light
he gets
and
dark.
scent. Okay. So as you get up and start to move, Phelan. Oh, yeah, I think you went with Phelan in big size. Is that correct?
aye, correct.
Okay. And Rock is currently in pocket dimension. With Gunn. Okay, so Phelan kind of, as long as you're not running, Phelan can pretty carefully follow behind you. He doesn't feel confident enough to really walk around in the darkness. So you'd have to kind of hop off and just take one of the leads and just walk him along.
Sure.
The bear likewise can't see super well in the total dark, but does seem to, if you turn back and look at it, it does seem to kind of follow you, though at maybe 20 paces back, as it's kind of sniffing around at the ground, looking up every once in a while, and just slowly following you all. You reach the side
Alright,
of this cavern, where there's this large opening. Looks like a tunnel, about 25 feet wide. Looks like it goes some ways and has a hook to the left. Assuming you follow that. What's
As
your
long as the
marching
quarter
order, I guess?
continues.
I've got a train behind me. I think I'm in the back at this point. I've got myself and then Phelan and then the bear.
I would say that we'd put Asher at the back, behind the very back. Greshy leading the animal, Asher following, and then Gunn in the front, proceeding with caution.
I mean, that's fine with me, Asher. You good following a bear?
I can see finally, so
Oh.
I can follow the bear.
Oh, that's what you were casting. That's
Yes.
a good idea.
It's actually quite hard to follow the bear. It seems to stop and like just kind of sniff at you, and it's clearly like waiting for you to move so it can follow you.
Oh,
Well, follow me, bear.
Okay. You walk just ahead of the bear, and it follows carefully enough. Eventually, you all make your way after about 15 minutes or so of walking. You make your way into a large open space, one that looks very familiar to you. Let's switch you over here. That was not going to work. Did that work? Oh, right. I didn't give you guys dark vision. Let me do that.
I'm blind.
I'm not. I can see myself. That's all that matters.
I can see bear and Phelan ear. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
fairly short-ranged, but I guess
Sorry,
it works.
I can set it. Everything is... Roll20 has decided to be very slow now. I know why, because this map has a lot of stuff on it. Okay, but you...
Well, is it the chamber we were kind of expecting?
For the most part, yes. As you reach
Something
the
looks a little
central
different.
chamber, you can see where the massive pillar was in the center of the room where you had stood to enter the rune forge. But that pillar is collapsed, and in fact, all of the pillars around it that you had inserted the coins into, or not coins, that you inserted the keys to the rune forge, they are also seemingly collapsed. There is a massive black scorch mark across everything. The central pillar, the pillars around it, the ground. It looks like something exploded in here.
Oof. So much for going back.
Does it look like a dragon breathed fire on it? Could I tell the difference? I don't know that I could.
Yeah, not...
Well, the dragon that we fought was not a fire type dragon anyway. I guess it wouldn't have had flaming or explosive breath.
I'll just switch it to
Yeah, it
daylight
wasn't
mode.
a red dragon.
Yeah, the dragon that you fought before was a green dragon with the powers of a white dragon grafted onto it. Neither of those, as far as you're aware, has any kind of fiery breath weapon.
Probably wouldn't have done this type of damage. Guess we'll start looking around, see what we can find. Maybe there's like a center we can find that the explosion seems to emanate from. Maybe it's the center of the platform.
I'm gonna remove some of these things just because the map has decided
Kind
that
of
it
looks
doesn't
like
like all this junk on it. But yeah, you can make your way over towards... It looks like you're trying to go towards where the stash was.
Well, I was actually looking at the pillars and the platform first.
Ah, okay. Yeah, all 7 pillars that surrounded the platform seem to have been toppled in some way. They lean some of them like lean across and like are clearly leaned up against the wall, cracked in the centers. Others have just completely, like, fully broken apart and crumpled.
Do you think that's because we used the portal?
I don't think so. But I don't know for sure.
And what with the Envy Wing collapsing the way it was, could have overloaded the place?
It was gone before we left to go there. That was recent, but it wasn't like we had just arrived minutes after the battle or anything.
True.
So I don't think it's connected necessarily.
Ooh.
Oh,
Sorry,
everything looks much nicer now.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's still
it's
that's
like
still
nothing
supposed to be
happened.
there. I'm just trying to get the map to not explode.
Gotcha.
Be angry.
There's still snow and dark scorch marks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
The thought that comes to mind is, was somebody trying to get in, or was somebody trying to prevent others from getting in or getting
I
out?
think that
Yeah.
they'd prevent others from getting in.
Mm-hmm.
maybe we
But
can.
they don't want anyone else going in there, maybe?
I guess there's two ways we could play this. We could like keep asking questions, or we could like roll some kind of investigation to try to notice details about which would
I could attempt to determine what kind of explosive would
Yeah,
cause
there's
this
a
kind of
residue.
damage.
Sure.
mean-
Yeah, if you want to try and determine what could have caused this explosion, I would say that's an Arcana check.
Okay.
I would allow other magical traditions, but it'd be at a penalty.
That's fair. That is a 35 total.
35. In this case, 5. That is enough. You can tell that this is very powerful evocation magic that caused this. It doesn't seem like conjuration backlash which is what you might expect if the actual act of teleportation had gone awry. This looks like
Mhm.
a spell or something similar had gone off here.
I wonder if it was
possibly
booby trap or
multiple.
something.
Can we tell how long ago that might have happened?
That
Is
would
everything
be
cold?
a
Is
survival
everything-
check. It's kind of like tracking.
I got a 25 on that survival check.
25. You're not really sure. It doesn't look like this was terribly recent. There is fresh, like ice and snow that is blown in from the cave mouth, up above. That's kind of on top of the layer of ash, and cinders and singed dirt. But exactly how long ago, you're not sure. But probably
Okay.
not today.
I think this would be a good time for me to cast sending. Send a message to Shalelu. And I'll compose the message before I cast it, since I know that it has to be a short message, so that I can get it and practice it, once or twice, so that I can get it out in that order. And I think that spell might take a minute or two. I forget.
I think it takes...
No, it's only 3
it's
actions.
instant,
Oh,
isn't
3
it?
actions?
Oh, yeah, it's 3
Mhm.
actions, yeah.
Okay. Well, the message is, we back safe. How long gone? Fight many mad wizard. Karzug knows coming. Have weapons against him. Clue to location. We search Golden City.
Okay. You send off this message, hoping to get back some kind of reply. And you feel the spell go off. You feel that mental link connect your minds briefly. But there's no immediate response. You get the sense that the target is probably unconscious.
Sleeping.
Might be the middle of the night. We don't know exactly
Just
when we are.
taking a nap.
That's fair. What happens if they're sleeping? Do they get it in the morning? I don't know. Do they know that you've...
I don't think they get it at all.
I'm like, do I have an inbox of sending that, like, when I popped up here, it's like you have
That's too bad.
8,000 new messages.
Shillelagh's just been leaving you constant messages over and over again.
No, yeah, Asher, when you think about this now, and you didn't notice anything, you didn't feel like there were any messages waiting in your mind, any letters waiting for you.
Well, the good news is I feel that maybe Shalelu is at least still alive
Well, that's
out there
good.
somewhere, but I think she might be sleeping. If we came through in the middle of the night, that would make sense.
I would.
No, she's restful.
But we still don't know how long we were gone as a result.
If only we
While
had
that was happening, Greshy
watch.
seems to have made his way over towards the horde. And you immediately notice that the massive piles of gold that were once there have been reduced to a couple of coins here and there scattered in the dirt underneath bits of rubble from the collapsed pillars and chunks that have broken off the wall. The two couches, the large mirror, and a large golden vase all remain, but I mean, you can sift through the dirt for some like spare coins, but it's very small amount.
The bigger question is, do I expect that the gold that was here has been buried and would need to be sifted through, or is it that it was removed to some degree?
Survival check?
Oh, okay. It's not terrible. 38 on that.
38, okay. I mean, very obviously, the gold that... there was much more... Like, there was a big mound of gold here before, and the amount of rubble doesn't account for the amount of gold that is missing. Like, the rubble would be, like, sitting up higher, but it is clearly, like, flush with the ground. You check around, and you see, like, clear spaces where the gold has been scooped up by something. They look like maybe claw marks in the dirt. You also notice a single errant feather on the ground. It is maybe a couple inches long, light brown.
Some sort of feathered creature that might take gold for itself?
Adam, if you're talking...
Oh, so it was definitely not
something
natural,
muted.
whatever happened here. Might have been just talking to myself, sorry.
Yes.
No,
Sure.
I shouldn't be muted, am I?
Okay, no, I can hear you now. Sorry, I just saw your mouth
Okay.
move, and I assumed you were also saying something.
Gotcha. Well, I guess Looks like there's still a little bit. Is that vase shattered?
The vase
The
is
golden
not
one?
shattered. It's a little bit dented, but
I'm curious.
still seems to be intact. The mirror is shattered, and the long couch, like the sofa, seems to be in pretty decent shape, although a bit dirty. The love seat is pretty badly damaged by a big chunk of pillar that has fallen like square onto it.
I'm going to take a minute and ping Detect Magic out and see if anything magical remains in this pile here.
Okay.
Don't think there's much before either, but
I believe you
we
explicitly
picked up
took
all the
all of the
magic
magical
items.
items from it.
think so. Okay, so all this would be just...
Yeah, these are all just.
Yeah,
art
but we wanted that
objects.
couch for our townhouse.
Well, I agree with you in principle, but we've got the animals to get out of here first, so we'd have to come back for it.
Indeed.
Well,
The bear is just sniffing.
less concerned
around
about that,
one
and
of
more
the-
about the fact that there was some sort of sabotage.
Yeah, somebody was in here, destroyed the entrance to the rune forge, and also made off with the dragon sword. It doesn't. I don't know that I. Can I attempt to recognize that feather from being from anything in particular?
It was Rock's feather.
Let me.
Every time you were putting him into that pet cache, it was actually putting him here, and he just got pissed off about it.
What is your nature modifier?
Oh,
Yeah.
probably 16.
16? Okay. Let me roll that for you. Okay. This looks like a harpy feather to you. Humanoid creature. I think you've seen a few of them
Oh,
before.
that could be.
At Jurgenfist. But I don't believe
That
you
is a
ever actually fought
possibility
them.
that I hadn't considered. So, yeah, could be.
Could be
I was
which?
thinking of the rocks and the griffins, but harpy is a. We do have some enemy harpies, some harpies in the employ of our enemies.
That we do, and I'm sure the Karzu would know exactly where we were and where to blow up to try and keep us from coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shite. All right.
I look for other footprints to see if there was like a bunch of people here or
Sure.
just harpies.
Yeah, go ahead and
What?
give me a survival check to search around and look for other tracks.
Whoa.
The harpies were in the air the whole time, and Asher can track it nonetheless.
32.
32. You root around looking for other tracks in the area. You do find a few other harpy feathers, or presumably harpy feathers, scattered about. And you do find what seems like an odd shoe print. Maybe like a heel.
Ooh. Like a stiletto heel.
Yeah, like a stiletto heel.
Wow, someone's down
Stiletto
here
or
in
wedge?
stilettos.
All right, so
Damn.
the next problem is that the exit was directly above us, and most of us can make our way there, but not Mr. Bear.
Oh, Mr.
How
Bear.
is Mr. Bear going to climb out of this cave?
Maybe this is where he lives now.
Don't know how he's going to get fed down here,
Not any
but
food down here, yeah.
suppose we could leave him the fish, and that would last him until, whenever, but...
Oh god, we have to figure out which one of the fish is the
But if you kill the
critter.
fish, don't they turn into their
I don't know.
back to whatever they were? So that could be bad.
Good question.
That would be very bad. Let's How big of a bird can you turn into, Asher?
No, I can't do huge yet, can I? Not big enough to hold a bear, I don't think.
Well, I mean, if you could, though, that would make this a bit easier. We only need a minute or two to get up there, but
Large
I
creatures
can be a
can't
big
ride other large creatures,
spider.
right?
Yeah, correct. You need a huge creature.
What? Only caught the end of that.
Correct. You cannot. A large creature cannot ride another large creature. They need to be at least one size larger than you for you to ride them.
What about carry in his... Oh, Rock can lift things in his claws. But that might be... I don't know, do you think... I'll bring Rock out from his confinement, I guess. His little doghouse.
You
Birdhouse.
open...
And
I guess you open a different cloak than the one that you
Yeah.
put him in. But still the spell
That's
works
true.
and he pops out. Or maybe bursts
we
out
made it
into
back,
the room
bud.
and kind of soars around
We're
the
here. Yeah,
pillar. And
no kidding.
I guess it's still dark in here, so maybe he doesn't do that. But yeah, I guess he would just drop onto the ground and ruffle his feathers
Made
and
it.
spread out his wings wide, and then turn and look back towards you.
Maybe, since we know where we are, maybe Greshy can go ahead and cast a light so that everyone here can see.
well, I don't have it prepared, so
Oh,
I have a
don't
torch
either.
still.
Alright,
if you have some torches, I apologize, didn't have it ready today.
yep. I have torches in the. I have 2 torches left in the backpack, I think, or in the bag of holding. But
We could always take apart the divan and use that for firewood, I'm sure. So
suppose we could with that, but it's probably not necessary. Yeah, I guess both Asher and I can each get out a torch from the respective bags and create
Okay.
a little bit of light.
I think
the
Asher has
animals
an
to see.
ever-burning torch. I think
I
Gunn
do.
has just regular torches, so Gunn
Regular
lights his
torches.
torch.
Rock, do you think you can carry Mr. Bear up the way we came and out to the cave entrance?
Rock looks over at the bear, who is currently rifling through the rubble here, he's sniffing at something or other. And then Rock looks back at you and just kind of slowly nods once, raises its wings, and kind of starts to kind of waddle over towards the bear. The bear pulls a snout out from the rocks and slowly roar, and it starts growling, and kind of steps back a few steps.
Maybe Greshy can help us out here.
all right, hang on. Let me.
So maybe we should look at some of that rubble, but I don't know. It's just a bear's nose. Being curious.
It's all right, Bear. We're gonna get you up and out of here. Don't. Rock's not gonna eat you. Just try not to eat Rock.
Rock lets out a screech as he's like flapping his wings. You go ahead and give me a diplomacy check for the bear? Or I guess
I'm sure
animal
this is gonna
handling
go
even.
splendid.
Nature's fine.
Nature's slightly better. That'll do 33 total.
33. Okay. The bear kind of eases its growling and looks back at you and kind of curls down a bit. Rock lifts up into the air and flies over and grabs onto the bear's back. The bear winces in pain a bit, but the two of them are slowly getting
Okay,
airborne. But Rock
I'll use
is
my
looking
wing
around
rune to
like
go
he's not
with
sure
them.
where to go.
I'll use my wing rune and then lead them up. Straight up.
Okay. And are you just leading them out of the cave?
Yes. Well, actually, up to the top area of the cave. I think we might have a little bit of difficulty getting out past the earth elementals. So there's a room inside
Just
that
inside,
we'll
yeah.
stop at.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you fly up over the ramp, the ramp slide that Asher fell down, and fly towards the entrance of the cave, where Rock carefully drops the bear off. Okay. While they're doing
And
that,
if I
Asher
need to, I
and
can try to
sorry,
heal
go
the
ahead.
bear from any injuries.
okay, yeah,
that
you
it got
do a
while
lay on
being lifted.
hands on the bear to soothe
Yep.
over its wounds. And seeing the snow, the bear just gallops out.
I
Uh-oh. Wait, Mr. Bear, there might be danger. And I just kind of have to watch and see what happens when he leaves the cave.
You watch as the bear gallops out of the cave mouth into... It seems to be actually quite dark outside. So yeah, it's probably nighttime. But you're still pretty far. Like you're not at the mouth, but yeah, you watch the bear gallop out of the cavern, look around a bit, and then start to kind of plod off. No earth elementals seem to pop out and attack it. Seems fine. It is unaccosted.
Okay, I guess that's good. A bear hopefully should be able to find its way around and down a mountain, I guess. So, one down, several more to go.
All right.
I'll wait here.
Greshy and Asher, what are y'all doing?
How many bulk would that pot be?
That would be 4 bulk.
The vase, I suppose. We can spare it. I will take the vase and shove it into the bag with the animals. And I will shrink Phelan down to pup size. I will pick him up because I can't unfortunately put him in the bag because I don't know that he'll fit with everything else in there. So I just want to carry him anyway. And I will cast Storm in Flight so that I can get out of here. Hopefully Asher will be right along behind.
a beautiful bird.
Chicken?
Chicken.
Yes.
A glorious little chicken.
All right, the group of you fly out of the cave. Sorry, I'm just putting you not on the world map.
Suppose I could have just cast Windwalk. Could cast it on the bear.
So you find yourselves out at the inside entrance to the cavern. What do you do? It appears to be quite late
bear ran
or
away.
potentially quite early.
Oh.
It's still dark out.
Couple options. We can set up the art and warm up. Otherwise, we should probably get moving right away because I really don't know how well those fish are going to do.
Yeah, and how do we feel having left the Rune Forge? Like, instantly hungry, instantly tired?
Everything catches up to us and we all just pass out.
No,
Well, I'm
you all
not hungry.
yeah, you all feel pretty well nourished, pretty awake, despite your harrowing adventure.
And I'm down to travel out of here as fast as we can.
I cast air bubble on the bag just before we left. Or not just before we left, just before we started putting animals into it.
Mhm.
Has it been more than half an hour since then? Closer to an hour?
It's probably been closer to an hour, we'll say.
Okay. So we'll assume an hour. Everybody want to go for a flight?
for me.
Okay.
I'll take 10 minutes and I will cast Windwalk on us.
Oh wait, I'm still a chicken.
You can be a chicken and
Can't-
Windwalk,
I can't
that's fine.
see okay. Bark, bark.
You take that as acceptance.
I think that's
And
consent.
You raise up your arms. I guess Phelan is. Where's Phelan?
I'm carrying him, but I can also cast it on him as well.
I see. Okay, so yeah, you're holding Phelan under your arm. Gunn and Rock and Asher are all standing around you in a circle, and you raise up one arm with the. I assume you're using the lemur staff, right? In your hand.
Aye.
Sorry, which you named, and I forgot the name of it.
Storm's Fury.
Storm's Fury. You raise Storm's Fury with one arm, and it takes 10 minutes to build up the air, but there is already quite a gust coming in from the, I guess from the air leaving the cavern, or going into the cavern. Which way does that usually work? It's usually one direction.
Depends on airflows for the cavern itself. Probably going in unless there's
Probably going in.
some weird way that it would be coming from. Mhm.
Sure. It's probably... Yes. Okay.
Under
yeah.
pressure.
The air is going into the cavern, so you're feeling this rush of air coming in. It is quite windy outside, you can tell. So it takes you a bit to build up this wind that's sort of circling around you all. And it starts to kind of lift all of you up. And you start to feel your forms dissipate slightly. If you look at your arms, your skin starts to go translucent, and you just become kind of gaseous in form.
Wispy.
And once the spell is cast,
And-
you can all fly together.
Aye. And we're getting the hell out of here.
Okay.
So
Greshy
if we have
collects
about
its
7
staff
hours,
and-
we can go about 140 miles.
That's
So let's go 140 miles some direction.
impressive.
Okay.
Oh,
Where are you guys? You're
we
up
do
here.
need to do something.
Which was?
Kapal is still somewhere. We left him. So we should probably check if he is dead. We should fly
Shalila didn't
past.
take Kapal?
No, she like went off with didn't she take something else? Or did she take the horse?
I hope she took Kapal, because
'Cause
I
I
don't
think
have
we-
any
I
way to
thought we
save Kapal at
left.
this point.
Him. I'm
Taken
like
over.
90% sure we left him.
Well, that's
Tied
going
to
to
a
complicate this a
tree.
bit. Would you have told me that before we turned into wind, or would you at least wait until... Or,
Can I speak as wind?
well, yeah, I'm saying...
Well,
I'm a
were you
chicken,
still
so
a
no, I
chicken?
didn't say. I
That's
didn't
true.
say anything.
Asher didn't
My
say a
bad.
damn thing.
Asher balks nervously.
But
as you're
Asher
casting the
can't say
spell.
anything either, and Greshy's forgotten, because I forgot.
No. Baka.
But which way do you suppose it is to the city? Well, we have two choices. We can go back to civilization for however brief of a stay to get ready, or we can go immediately off to where we're trying to find this lost golden city.
I don't even know where to start with that. Not that it's a bad idea for us to go looking. There were some dwarves, I think Raxara said he saw, that were coming out of it. They were making their way back to Riddleport, though.
Riddleport it is then.
Riddlesport, I think he wrote. So we would not be making it today, but that's okay.
We'd almost make it. That's nice.
We make it a fair distance, but of course, this is also assuming we know exactly where we're going.
So it might be more like
I think Greshy would start the wind going across the lake. So from the direction they're at, it would probably be a westerly wind, and past the lake, he would need somebody to give him some direction on where to go, because he doesn't know this area very well.
I guess I should not be a chicken in this scenario.
Southwest? Down the...
I would
Perhaps I
he would
will
be
not
starting
be a
going to the
chicken.
southwest across the lake, so something in that direction-ish.
Okay,
And then
you start
At some point, somebody would
drifting-
want to give me.
Yeah, you start drifting the 4 of you, 5 of you, across the lake. After you can de-chickenize if you wish during the spell.
I wish to teach. Can you speak during the spell, or are we? Is it just?
You can speak.
Yeah, you can
There's
talk.
no reason you can't.
We should check on the horse. I mean, at the worst, we would know how much time had passed if there's a corpse.
Oh,
Before
that's a fair point. I forgot about the horse. Where was the horse again?
To my great memory, it's somewhere here. Hang on the map. Oh, I can't pick. Okay, like around this area.
Okay, so a bit more to the southwest. So then I guess we'll make our way in that direction and try and locate the copse of trees we tied Kapal to, I suppose.
Okay.
Ooh,
Um,
that's a big problem.
I
yeah,
really
so
thought we would not have left Kapal behind like that.
you
I'll
did.
have to go back
You-
and see, but I'm like mostly sure we did. Yeah.
I believe you gave.
And I remembered it when we went in.
You gave Shalelu a phantom steed that you still have.
Ah, that's right.
After you crossed the lake, because you decided not to cross the lake with Cabal. So Cabal
But we
is-
wouldn't have tied him to a tree then, right?
I don't remember if he was tied to something.
I don't think we would have tied him to a tree if that was going to be the case.
But we may have.
I mean, he may have gone feral and be gone for all I know. I don't care if that's the case. That's fine, but it seems really irresponsible of us to just tie him up, not knowing when we're coming back.
It does seem
was
really
some-
irresponsible of you.
It does.
I remember thinking about it and just not saying anything, and then we went in, and I'm
It
like,
doesn't sound like us at all to be irresponsible like that. That doesn't make sense.
I would. Asher certainly would be irresponsible.
You know, we still haven't talked to our housekeeper back in Magnamar.
Okay, so
Who?
Exactly.
Why did
You
we
fly.
bring Kapal in the first place? We had...
She was
Shalelu? Could-
Shalelu was already riding
Run.
Cabal at the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah, Shalelu had been gifted Kapal. She was riding north with Kapal when Asher chased after her. And she still
Right.
had Kapal with
Okay.
her when you guys made your way up to towards Rhymeskull. But okay. Asher, give me a survival check.
survive, or hope the horse survived, or not. Ooh, a 26. Not very
26.
survivally.
Okay. You try your best to recall exactly where you left Kapal hiding. The weather in the area is it's very cold. It's early Abadius. Snow is still falling. It's very, very cold out. You fly south of the lake. Oh, you fly over the lake and then fly to the south a bit. You recognize some of the landmarks. You try to trace your trail back a bit, but there's not a lot of there's not much in the way of landmarks away from the lake. And as you search around, it takes about 30 minutes to try and find where you last remember putting Kapal. And you do find the spot. It is a very small grove that was just out of sight of the lake. And you all kind of descend down with the cloud energy, wind, whatever, from Windwalk. Greshy, you guide the group down closer to the ground so you can see. And the branch that not the branch, the tree that you had tied Kapal to is still there. The rope that you had tied him up with is still there. It's tied very, very neatly. But the rope itself is just kind of laying in the snow. Or the end of the rope is laying in the snow, just sitting there. It's kind of
That's good.
loosely coiled up. The ends of the rope
Coiled
are frayed.
Ah,
Well, maybe he's gone to a better place with people who will love him and not abandon him.
There's no immediate
Dun,
obvious
da-da.
tracks in the snow, but you could you could spend time. You could do a survival check to try and do any additional tracking, but there's a fresh layer of snow out, and there don't seem to be any obvious tracks.
Whose horse was this?
It was Greshy's originally, and then it was
You want
Shalalu's
me-
when he gave it to her.
Do you
So
want me to track the horse, Greshy?
any blood in the snow?
I
Signs of a predator?
No, you don't see any blood.
This is probably for the best, actually, that Kapal was able to get away and live free, rather than being tied up to a tree and dying.
That's what we will think.
Moving on.
Probably continue. If we head south, when we see the mountains, we see the river. We can follow the river towards Riddleport. Probably make it to about where the fork is, I think.
Do we
Come down.
know where we're going?
Well, we're
Or
going
where we
down
are.
this gets us down from the mountains and into the lowlands.
You'd still need a survival check, but yeah, you could attempt to do so. Yeah.
I have a quick question, actually.
Which seems like a good place to release the animals. I'm done.
What is the state of the rope? Like, does the rope look like it has been a rope that's been sitting out here through weather for a significant time, or does it look like about as new as when we put it there?
I would take a crafting or a survival check.
Oh boy, a 25.
25. The question was about the quality of the rope. Does it look like it's... I see what you mean. It still looks fairly fresh. It doesn't look like it's weathered over years of time or anything like that. Maybe it's been sitting out here for a couple of weeks at most.
Okay. That's good to know.
Well, shall we figure out where we're going exactly? Like, how we're getting where we're getting to?
Riddleport is to the south. Southwest.
All right. Well, I mean, I can set the wind whichever direction we want to go. I just don't know the best way. So if you want southwest, I can aim for that, I think.
And we should be able to follow the river once we get closer. Since it is on the mouth of the river into the bay.
Sure, once we find it. Okay. Sure. Then, unless I get some specific direction, I'm going to attempt to go for southwest.
Okay. Whoever's leading, leading the path, would give me a survival check.
Do you want me to lead?
I was giving it to one of the
Okay.
survival people, but I can try. It won't be
I'm
terrible.
pretty good at survival.
You're a bit better than I am, so I usually give it to either of you, but...
Both of us are from this region. I'll assist Asher.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not from this region. This was my first venture up this north.
Oops, that's a 28 to assist.
Okay. That is a +1 to Asher's roll.
Oh, I don't know where I'm going.
You got a 3 and then a 2 and now a 1, and I don't.
Descending roll.
I
I don't
This is
feel like I
why-
want to re-roll for this, but
Don't like
yeah.
assists.
I mean, keep it.
It's just between Gunn and us, we're like,
Okay. So it's a
tried.
natural 1 for with the aid. That would be a 25. For the area, that would just be a failure, but not a critical failure.
But it being a natural 1 would
Well, I think
reduce
he's
it.
saying with that.
Yes, sorry. With the natural 1 would turn it into a failure, but not a critical failure.
Okay, I see.
Sorry,
Dubious knowledge?
it would be a success normally.
I don't think it applies here.
that is about
Not a-
what
this
this
is
is
not a
going to turn
knowledge.
into, I think.
Not a recall knowledge check.
It's like, I think it's this way.
Recall knowledge on where you're at. Eh?
Okay, there we go. Do.
How to navigate by star.
Okay.
Greshy, you can recall knowledge anything now.
It's cloudy
Okay.
and snowy,
true.
and I don't
So you
understand.
guys
I'm upset
you
about the
flew
horse.
to the south, across Lake Stormunder. You hung out around here to look for Paul and couldn't find him. And then we're going to try and continue your journey south-ish.
Southwest.
Okay.
Aye.
Through the snow, you manage to kind of get yourselves turned around a bit. You start going through the mountains, end up at the river, and start kind of going up it instead of south along it. You course back down, end up on the opposite side of the river, break through the mountains, end up at what is this?
Wormwood Hall?
Near Wormwood Hall. End up turning back towards the river, lose sight of the river in the Lurkwood, pass through the mountains, and by this point you're all very tired. What's the speed?
And it would have run out soon by then.
Yeah.
I can, with us wandering around for half an hour, about 170 miles. No, excuse me, 130 miles would have been our
Okay.
total distance traveled
So yeah, you guys end up
with us fucking around in the woods.
just on the edge of the Red Mountains when you were trying to get a little bit further down to the top of the river.
Not ideal, but it's fine.
Well, at least we know where we are, kind of.
Do we?
I don't know.
Clearly.
Close this door.
The two questions I have though are we out of the mountains enough for it to be temperate, or are we still pretty chilled up here?
I mean, this time of year, it's now kind of snowing and cold everywhere, not just up north.
That's fair.
So yes, by the time you all get tired, it seems to be about noon. You can see, well, it's still pretty cloudy, but you're pretty sure you're just at the southern edge of the Red Mountains, and hopefully not too much further to go. But you're all very, very exhausted as you start to feel things kind of catch up to you. You can continue, but you potentially get fatigued, or you definitely be fatigued. But the spell has run out, so you find yourselves, in the Red Mountains.
Well,
I have another casting of it, but that would take us entirely out.
And Greshy, the air in the
Okay.
patch
How is
is
the
running out.
fish and things doing?
I do need
Yeah,
to
we need
recast
to-
that.
we need to take care of these animals. I think we could travel while fatigued on Windwalk and get to the city by nightfall and collapse, but we also want to release the animals and we don't want to release them in the city.
Ideally.
So
But we could.
It's a possibility. I was considering it. Part of the problem I'm thinking about is those owlbears are awful young to just release on their own.
Well, there are
Although
forests.
the mountains is a decent place for them, yes?
It is not the location so much as the ability to fend
Age.
for itself.
The age is an issue.
I agree with you, though. I think mountains would be a good place for it if we knew of an owlbear nearby.
Do owl bears accept the young of other owl bears?
Could you give me a nature
Two
check?
very good questions.
Hey.
Can I aid on that?
Nature people to...
Sure. I
will
think that would
aid
be two
Asher.
separate. That would be two separate
Oh.
nature checks.
That's
for full
fine.
knowledge.
Either way. So 28 for Greshy.
31 for Asher.
Okay. Greshy, you know that this behavior is actually. This might be a critical success on both of you. Let me see. Owlbears are not exactly the highest level of creature. Oh yeah. It is just a success for Greshy, but a critical success for Asher. So, okay. Greshy, you know that they're very protective of their young, but that they do sometimes operate in a communal fashion. They might accept each other's young. Asher, you've actually heard a story of a human living with owlbears, or living amongst owlbears.
Uh-huh.
And the way they did it was to specifically rub some of the mother owlbear's dung on themselves, to give themselves the scent of the proper owlbear. And once they did that, they were just readily accepted as one of its cubs. So you
we're gonna
think
have to
that
put
doing
them
the
in
same, yeah, you think that doing the same with these, if you were able to find an owlbear, would potentially work.
How exciting. We have to find an owlbear and an owlbear's poop.
Okay. Do you know, are the owlbears native to this region here?
How are they?
Yeah, they're a bit more in the. They're not so much in the mountains. They're more in the forests and valleys.
Or in the forests and valleys.
So if we went to Lurkwood or something, or whatever this wood is right over here, we got lost in on our way over. We could try and find owlbears there, I suppose, but let's try and release the other things while we're at it. Things that would make sense around here.
Sure.
If nothing else, I imagine the leshies would get by just fine. So, but would somebody set up the yurts in the meantime?
Want to set the yurt up here? I thought...
Well, we were going to be hitting town anyway tonight, but that'll get us some food.
I suppose it will. That's a good point. Yep, I'll do that.
Okay. Gunn is going to set up the yurt. What are the other two of you doing?
Let my people go.
Oh! The cage
You're going to start trying to release the animals that you've got.
Unloading them, yeah. Trying to get the cages out. Kind of organizing in terms of, do I think the creature will survive in this environment versus I would rather release some of these someplace where I don't think they're going to die right away.
Okay. Yeah, give me either nature or survival then.
All right. I think they're both going to be about the same, but we'll do nature. That's a natural 1.
Ooh!
So that's pretty good. I'm going to re-roll that. I'm going to use my hero point to try
Can I
and
help you?
not embarrass myself that badly.
Sure could.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, well. Alright, you went from a natural 1 to a 19.
Just for fun, I
Go
want
ahead.
Roll.
That's great.
Okay. So Asher got a 15 for 38, and Greshy got a natural 19 for 41. Okay. So Asher, you start helping Greshy to unload the animals and start sorting them in cages, or by cages to where you think you could drop them off. Asher, you're actually also providing like local regional info of where you think each of these animals could stay. And you're able to, like, about half of them, you think you could release pretty close by. The fish and the turtle are the hardest ones, because the turtle you probably need to release in the bay, but you could wait till you get to Riddleport for that. And
Is there a turtle other than the one that is a fish?
Oh, right, it's still a fish. Okay, so yeah, I guess you don't know which one that one is.
No, we don't.
The koi, in that case, you could release in the river as soon as you get to any of the rivers, or you could release them in the ocean. They're both salt and freshwater fish. I think they can manage in either. Probably freshwater is better, but
Yep. They also may trigger a nasty surprise for anything that attacks and consumes one. But our thinking was better that they live out their lives as fish than... Because there's like 3 possible outcomes, right? They might be transformed monsters, they might be transformed crazy wizards, and they might be transformed animals.
There's one other option that we know for sure, which is one of them is the little water method.
The water guy method.
Yeah.
That's true.
So there's 4 options.
but yeah, you're
Which
able to
one?
release about half of the animals. So you've got the bag of holding down to, I guess, 41 plus 4. So about 45.
So 45, that's not bad.
The
Now we
rest
need
you
to
could
feed
release
the
once you get
creatures
to
that we are not
once you get to
releasing.
the Lurkwood or the river, you could release the rest, basically. You think a quick jaunt down in the morning on your way could get you to the western edge of the Lurkwood, where the river comes out of the woods, and you could probably release all of them there. But you'd also need to find the owlbear cubs a place. Or you could release them there too.
Just
Sounds
throw
fun.
them. Go.
It's a different kind of Angry Birds game.
What if we made a search to see if there are owlbears in this area? That's a thing that Asher can do, right?
Well, we decided that they weren't in the mountains, just the valleys and forests.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we already know that this isn't their habitat. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, they're certainly in some mountains, but not the Red Mountain specifically.
I see.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
I guess you do need to feed the animals. Were you doing that with food from the yurt? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you have Gunn bring out all of the meats and vegetables that the yurt produces and start handing them out to the animals with your critical success. So you're able to figure out exactly which foods to dish out to which ones, and they all seem to be very happy or satisfied, if a bit timid and confused. The leshies, the leshies that you released, they accept your or they thank you profusely, and then just kind of find a spot in the dirt nearby, and just all of them just kind of plant themselves there. They just kind of chill out and watch you sort through the rest of the animals.
Would they be willing to take custody of any of the remaining animals and help them be released? There's a argument to be made for making haste.
Do you speak Sylvan by chance?
No, but
believe they speak Sylvan.
I thought you were speaking with them.
I mean,
Um,
I can get them to understand me to a degree, but
I
don't
see.
necessarily speak the same language.
I suppose we do have the spell to converse with them.
I
Would
could.
you like to have a conversation with them?
I mean, it's more a question of whether you wanted to. If you had these things you were going to ask of them, if they can understand you, makes it easier.
Or would Greshy be willing to let the Leshies take some of the other animals and find homes for them
Aye,
if they're willing?
if they're willing, I see no reason why not. They're not fae. Exactly, they're spirits of nature.
Okay, then Gunn would go ahead and cast Comprehend Language. Well, get the Leshy's attention, maybe. Cast Comprehend Languages for both himself and Greshy to be able to speak with the Leshies.
Excellent.
Okay. They start chittering in Sylvan to you. What do you want? This spot of soil is really nice. Thanks for getting
now
us
that
out of
we've-
there.
Oh, you're quite welcome. We have other places we need to go, which are not necessarily going to be suitable for all these other animals that we've helped. Could we ask you for your help in finding new habitats or areas to release some of these remaining animals?
The gourd one is the one that's like looking at you. I think I described it as being pumpkinish. Sure. I don't really know where we are, but yeah, why not?
What all do we have left? Mostly. The owlbears, the fish. Perhaps we could give them the rest other than those two?
Sure. Again, if they're willing to actually help us find a place for them. But I also understand if they would like to not. They have been prisoners for I couldn't even tell you how long. How did you end up in there anyway? Greshy will actually ask them directly.
Do you also speak Sylvan, or are you just asking in common?
I was
I-
You
could-
comprehended
I
everyone.
could speak.
Okay.
Everybody can hit it, so
Okay.
we can all speak.
The pumpkin leshy. They summoned us, I think. Well, summoned is weird. I don't really understand. The big the metal guy, he had some kind of object. I didn't understand it. It was like a weird pendulum.
Metal guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the metal guy with the bald head and the blue skin. He's very shiny.
We didn't encounter him,
Do you think that was the one who remained?
most likely.
Guy we didn't see.
Yeah, he had something. He used it to summon us and do all sorts of weird experiments on us. But I'm not from. Yeah. He just looks kind of confused.
Where are you from?
Where are we exactly?
We're in Varizia, I suppose. The northern section of it.
Varizia. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, we're from Varizia, I guess. That's what the humans call it, right? It turns and looks at the cactus leshy, who just kind of like sagely nods. Yep, that's where we're from.
just, we're from the woods, not, there are lots of goblins, I think it's called, like, Thistle Top or something.
Oh,
Oh.
We are quite some distance north of there.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's fine. As long as there's a forest nearby.
there's one. We passed it on our way over here. It's a little bit further to the whatever direction that is. And Greshy will point east, but not necessarily know exactly.
Oh, okay, cool. We'll probably just go that way then. And, yeah, maybe we'll make new friends, right? And he looks over at the cactus slushy, who again sagely nods.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you both, I suppose.
You're welcome.
I didn't get your names. Do you have names to share?
I don't know if we're allowed to tell you our names. Are we? And he looks at the cactus slushy, and the cactus slushy sagely shakes its head.
Well, understand. I'm Greshy, though, if you ever need any assistance.
Nice to meet you, Greshy. And you, and the other one, and the dog, and the bird. Yeah, I guess we can just, if you want to just, we already had a nice nap in the bag, I guess we can get going right away. Just let him out and we'll lead him.
All right. We'll start letting all the creatures out for the fleshies to lead along, I suppose.
Okay,
Hopefully
so
they'll
basically just everything but
do good.
the owl bears and the fish you start letting out of their cages and out of the
Correct.
bag. And they seem to be kind of skittish. Some of them immediately just book it and run off. But the leshies start to speak in some kind of more primal language, and seem to calm down the rest of the animals. And the pumpkin one actually, it takes one. It's got a little hand, and it like puts its like thumb in its mouth and blows really hard, and little bits of pumpkin shell kind of pop off, creating little circles, holes in it, in its body, and it starts to kind of play some kind of tune as if it were an ocarina or a flute of some kind. And all of the animals start to follow along as it starts to just march its way away from the camp. And the other two leshy
That's fun.
follow behind it.
Very
Okay.
cute.
Nicely enough.
Well, we have a bunch of fish, we have some owl bears, and otherwise, we can, once we get them sorted out, we can make our way down to Riddleport and camp out there for the rest of the night.
Lovely Riddleport.
That sounds good.
Let's go find some owl bears. You're sure they're around here, Asher?
Eh, somewhere in the Lurkwood, I'm sure. I'll have to hunt around.
Now,
There's
Gunn,
poop.
what should we do with the fish exactly? Because
I think the ideal thing would be to find a remote freshwater pond. There should be some out here in the foothills, not too far from the river, or spring, or creek.
If you wanted something like that, you could probably find those in the mountains themselves. There's probably a few around.
Maybe Rock and I can take a look while you find owlbears,
all right.
and we'll just, once we find a pool big enough, we'll just dump them there.
Well, I mean, if you're sure, I wasn't sure if we wanted to try and rescue the turtle and the mephit and...
Well, like we said, I think the risk that we might free a mad wizard is I don't think the turtle is going to be too terribly put out about being stuck as a fish. Is what I'm thinking.
I don't know how that turtle feels.
Asher's
I also
right.
don't really. Oh.
And the
Yeah, Greshy,
likelihood-
you don't know how that turtle feels.
the likelihood of an innocent person being stuck in the Runeforge and turned into a fish
Oh,
is lower to me than
There's at
Any of
least
the other
one
much worse
innocent mephit,
possibilities.
an innocent turtle, an innocent skeleton, though. I guess that was a bit of a problem.
not worried about the skeleton so much. Or the slimes. Or the mad wizard, so... It becomes a question of whether it's really vital to save the mephit, I suppose.
They did say he liked being a fish. I don't know how.
I just lean towards releasing them in a pond and letting them be fish.
Well, I think we're all heading towards the Lurkwood today anyway, since that's where the owlbears are more likely to be at. Is that right? Then I think the river was that way too. Why don't we all just make our way down there? I mean, if you want to fly ahead and just drop off the fish, you go right ahead. We'll just meet you on the way.
So
Okay.
you are, by continuing to move on, you are going to be fatigued, so you won't be able to succeed at any exploration tasks.
So we will not be able to actually track anything tonight.
Yeah, you feel pretty exhausted, like your eyes are drooping, so you can fly in a direction towards something, but if you're going to try and go look for ponds or look for owl bears, you're probably going to get lost.
Just sleep.
Sleep on back of the bird for 8 hours, it'll be fine. Circling overhead. Well, I suppose we could just camp out here and move on tomorrow.
Let me
Suppose
tell
so.
you, being
Or-
fatigued sucks.
or at
It
night.
really does.
If we're Runeforge lagged a little bit here,
Be working
You
on off
basically are,
hours.
'cause it's
planar
noon right now.
lagged. Yeah. So we're gonna at some point have to push through a.
Or you feel like
long
it's
day
noon. It's
or a-
it's been pretty cloudy the entire time. You haven't seen the
We
blue
could-
sky.
We could probably rest here until nightfall-ish, and then seek out our targets in the evening, and then proceed on towards Riddleport.
I agree in principle. It sounds fine to me. I have reservations, but I don't think they're worth worrying about, so sure. Let's try and take some long cat naps. Asher can take literal cat naps if he wants.
Sleep. When a nap hits 5 hours, I think you're just sleeping.
If we sleep during the day and wake in the evening, can we do our preparations for the day if they haven't been done yet?
No, you'll still
For
have
that
to
day?
wait until tomorrow, since you already did your preparations today. So you could do it at midnight.
But we did our preparations at midnight this morning, is what you're saying.
Effectively. We were just in
Effectively.
a different realm at the time, playing.
I see.
C'est la vie.
So normally we do them at like 7 or 8 a.m. But yeah, okay, so we did them way early. And we've been up a little bit extra long since leaving the... We only left the Runeforge about 8 hours ago, and we're already so tired.
Aye, but we were moving pretty quick. The spell takes a lot out of us as well when we're flying.
I
So
see. Okay.
Yeah, you're not like
No, it felt kind of...
expending no energy by flying. You are still exerting yourself to.
I thought
to
we were
move.
just floating on the breeze.
No, the breeze is helping you, but you are flying.
The very
you're
act of
getting
becoming
hit with a lot of
insubstantial makes
wind.
us much weaker, I suppose.
Fair.
We also got very
well,
lost.
Then I suppose we might as well just... I don't know.
Well, we've got
If we rest until evening, we can continue on and then rest again at Riddleport, maybe.
if we sleep a day and a half at Riddleport, we'll be all right. Though we
Yeah.
might want to stash Asher someplace that's not in the city, so he's more comfortable.
I'll just sleep in a tree.
We can find you stables again.
Oh no.
We've already been down that road.
No.
Find you a bed.
I thought that would be a good idea, but it wasn't.
That might not have been the best option, but well, we've got the yurt up. We might as well nap out in it for now.
Well, there's nothing wrong with sleeping in the stables as long as you don't sleep in a stall that is occupied by a horse.
No, I don't think that was the problem.
Most people who sleep in
No.
the stables would sleep in like the pile of hay,
Or like in the
No.
loft
something
or
like
something.
that, or the loft. Yeah,
No.
or an empty stall. You know,
That's weird. What if someone like saw me in an empty stall? No, you sleep with
Or-
your horse. You lay on the horse. It's very cute.
For that matter, if you're sleeping in an empty stall, they may not realize you're there and try to lead a horse in, then you get trampled.
Yeah, then I'm getting trampled in my sleep. It's
because
terrible.
there's a horse in the stall with you, you'd get trampled.
No, it's coming
Well,
in
once
the
they
stall.
introduce it,
It's not my friend horse. If it's a
I
horse that
see.
knows me, it wouldn't trample me.
besides, if the horse is already there, it's not like they're going to lead
Hey.
another horse into the stall and
The
trample you.
horse is tired too.
Okay, I understand now.
And I'm helping. I'm keeping the horse warm. It's really nice. For the horse, not for me.
Well, with this education done, do you guys go to bed?
Yes.
To nap until evening? Alright. Okay. I guess Asher doesn't need to eat, but Greshy and Gunn should use a ration each. You gave your food to the animals, basically.
Yeah, those are all gone. That's fine. Ration, where are you?
But yeah, with some
There you are.
alternating shifts, you're able to basically rest throughout the rest of the evening, or throughout the rest of the day. Let's see. Okay. It's still overcast all day. Not a sign of the sun. It's very cold up here. You're still in the mountains. Oh, that's actually a thing. You're all wearing cold weather gear already?
Everybody except Phelan and Rock, but both of them have some cold rune resistance, I think.
Okay. And
We put the heavy one on Rock, correct?
Yeah.
Aye, okay.
And does the yurt do anything about temperature? No.
I think so. I think it makes you comfortable.
Oh, it has
It
a
does
fire
create
pit.
a fire
Okay,
in there.
So
It does have a
you're,
fire
You're
pit.
fine. With the fire pit, you're totally fine. So you would have lit the fire and
Okay.
left it going, to keep everybody nice and toasty while they're inside. Okay. Yeah, you start by nightfall, or past nightfall. You're all kind of up and ready to go again if you need to. It's not quite time to regen spells, but you do feel awake again. You can probably I guess it's probably around 9 p.m. is your guess. So in a couple hours you should be able to
Well
prep
past
spells if you
sunset.
want.
That's fine. Well, we can head down, try and scout out places to put the fish, and
Mhm.
then we'll find an owl bear, I suppose. Hope they're not. Are they
It's
nocturnal?
poop.
Owlbears?
Yeah.
Yes, they are nocturnal.
Perfect. Then they're going to be awake, and we can bug them and not die. It'll be fine. And then I still have one of the windwalks prepared so we can still make our way to Riddleport and just show up in the middle of the night.
Can you interact with things while
And
walking?
we go. Not while windwalking. So this would be we make our way down initially and then we would windwalk afterward.
I see. Okay. So you're just going to hike down the
So
mountain?
we would still have to make our way on foot
Okay. I guess you're already
to get to the
inside
woods, I
hills.
suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So you do... How many miles is this? It's like I'll call that a 10-mile... Yeah, a 15-mile hike. Through the woods, or down the foothills into the woods. This is largely on foot / on rockback, I suppose. Is that correct? Correct me if not.
Yep.
What's the slowest speed here? I want to say it's 30.
I think Greshy's the slowest at 25.
But riding Phelan?
But riding Phelan, so he'd actually be 50, and Asher's 50 as well.
I guess I am the slowest unless I am an animal, and then Greshy's the slowest again.
Well,
You can also
la-di-da.
use Long Strider if you have it. I don't know if that makes you any faster.
I have a wand of Long Strider.
I just have Long Strider. I think this is assuming I have Long Strider. I'm still 45. Making sure though. Yes, this is I think including.
Okay. Long Strider. Oh, cast at second level. Long Strider is 8 hours. So, assuming you're casting at second level, you should be fine. Okay, so that puts the slowest at around 45. Is that what we're saying?
45.
45 is the slowest speed.
Okay. So in an hour, that's about 4.5 miles. So I said it was about 10 miles. Divided by 4. Okay, so it takes you about 2.5 hours. So it is basically midnight. Give me a survival check whoever's leading.
I'll let Asher take the lead.
Whee. 34.
34.
There we go.
Okay. So I'll just do... Okay. Yeah, in that case, yeah, it just takes you the 2.5 hours pretty much exactly to hike down the mountain, get to a spot in the woods, just at the edge of the woods by the river. You're able to find with a 34, you're able to find a small cave near the kind of at the edge of the woods and the mountains, where you're pretty sure an owlbear must live because you followed some tracks to get here. You wait long enough for the owlbear to leave and go out hunting. Bring the little cubs inside, slather them up in poo, and place them near the near the currently unhatched owlbear eggs that are in the nest inside this cave. They just kind of sit, and one of them gets up and waddles out of the nest and looks around curiously. They seem content. You just leave them here? Just head back out?
Yeah. Good luck,
Okay.
little poop-covered babies.
You say this to them, and one of them ruffles its feathers and lets out a little sound, and then turns
very
its
cute.
head.
As we were traveling here, were Rock and I able to find any small freshwater ponds
Sure.
lakes.
Give me a survival check for yourself, then.
Sure. 29.
29. Okay. And with an assist from, so Rock. I'm forgetting words today. Rock is keeping an eagle-eyed lookout for anything that looks like fresh water, and you're also like peering over his shoulder. How are you carrying the barrel of fish?
Oh, we're not necessarily carrying the barrel right now.
Okay, you're just looking for a spot. Okay.
We're just searching.
Okay.
As Greshy and Asher travel along the ground, we'll fly up and search around, and we find something, we'll go down, grab the barrel, and then
yeah,
carry it
you
there.
find one of these kind of tributary streams that lead into the or creeks that lead into the main river here. Which river is this? This is a fork of the Velashu River. I don't know what this river is called. But okay. You find some small tributary creek, and it's in a pretty clear spot that's easy to remember and get back to. So, you can kind of follow it back to where you remember Asher and Greshy being, and yeah, there's a small pond along the way.
Okay.
That seems pretty.
We'll
pretty out
carry
of
the
way.
barrel back in Rock's claws.
Okay.
And
So you fly
carry
back
it to
to
the
Asher and
stream
Greshy, grab the barrel, fly back with it, and then just dump it into the.
Crank
into
open the
the
top and just kind of upend it.
Okay. Yeah, you're just pouring the fish
And
out, and they kind of disperse into the
I
water.
should have room for the empty barrel in my bag.
Um.
So
Oh, and you have a bag of holding as well, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant regular backpack.
And it has,
but yes, yeah, you're able to squeeze the empty barrel back into your bag. Okay. And with that all done, you all regroup
Then we'll
near the edge of the woods, and that only took an extra hour. So you've got you spent 3.5 hours of your day so far. It is pretty late.
Okay.
It's clearly past midnight. If you wanted to spend an hour to prepare spells, you could. Otherwise, you could. You're all pretty awake at this point. And
Let's-
It's about 4 hours to get back to town from here.
Yeah, let's travel first, I think.
Just need to figure out exactly where to go, but you said just follow this river, right?
Just follow the river.
Yeah.
Then we'll just follow the river and should make our way back.
so you're casting one more Windwalk.
Aye. My other's 8th level spell.
All right, your last Windwalk of the effective day. You all lift up off the ground, and then Greshy guides you with the staff. It's easy enough to follow the river. Again, I guess, yeah, all night it's still very cloudy, cold, it's snowing. But you're able to fly for 8 hours. Sorry, it wasn't 8 hours. How many hours did you say?
About 4 hours.
4 hours? Okay, so it's like almost
Probably
dawn.
just getting close to sunrise.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5
As
a.m. or
you
so.
make your way, or as you fly towards Riddleport, it's just starting to get slightly light out, but it's still pretty heavily overcast, and there's obviously a fresh, a good couple inches of snow all throughout Riddleport. As you arrive in town. Shalelu's not here.
There she is.
Goodbye, Shalane.
We found her.
And these are your
Oh.
old character portraits.
Oh no, she's gone again.
I'll bring your actual ones over when I go find them. Okay. But yeah, you guys arrive in Realport. What do you want to do? pretty early
We should
in the
probably
morning.
find a place to camp. We also want to try and find information about a team of dwarves that might be looking to make their way towards a golden city. Or city of gold. So we might look for inns or places where they would be recruiting for such an adventure. Do you know of anything that would have such a place going?
I think we could definitely search around. Know a few places to look.
Okay. I would have asked Asher, but I also don't think Asher knows much about.
I don't know anything about this. I don't even want to go in there.
We also have some contacts we recently made in the city that we could reach out to.
Aye, sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say you
Um,
guys currently have just flown in around the. I think this is some kind of tower. I forget what this is exactly in the north corner of the map. But you can just make out through the morning fog the fuck, I forgot the big arch, the Realport arch. I'm gonna look
Probably,
it up 'cause I'm mad.
This would be a decent time. We could find a place to clean up first, maybe, and we could prepare our spells.
Sure. That's why I was saying we find some place to stay first.
Yeah.
It's the Cipher Gate. That's what this thing's called.
I don't know of any inns here. Gunn, do you know any place that's good to stay? I stayed in a terrible place
they-
last time.
They definitely have inns here.
You know
Yes.
of a few offhand, Gunn, that you used to frequent.
As taverns more than inns, but
Preferably with
Close
doors
enough.
that lock.
um, yeah, I think let's. Sorry, not quite better from that. I think let's enter the. Let's maybe prepare our spells first. Once it's proper daytime, I want to be able to try that sending again. That's the main reason.
Hmm.
Well, that's fine. Just want to find a place for us to stay
But stay during the day.
to camp out at. We'll get there, we'll prepare our spells, then we can go do whatever we want to do.
There are certainly people.
I'll be honest, I'm already worn out from the bit of
I
flying we
don't think-
did.
That's true, but I don't think most places let you check in before sunrise. It'd be like after breakfast, at least.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I also have this big bag of gold.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
It's worth a shot
They
at
do
least.
like
Maybe
that
they'd be
quite a bit
more
here.
cooperative.
Is that all hotels, or is that just if there's a big event at a hotel? So I've definitely checked into hotels at like 6 and 7 a.m.
You can. Annoyingly, I think it is all the hotels now. I don't know if this is a recent thing or what, but I feel like a lot of more recent, recent
what about
traveling I did
people on,
3
like,
years ago.
Traveling. Because I'm like, I've totally been driving and checked into hotels at odd hours.
You can.
Fair enough.
Before and
It's. I feel like some hotels are totally okay with it. Some hotels are just not. Some hotels you can
fancier
ask for
hotels
like
are like,
an.
ooh.
Yeah, sometimes you can just ask for an early check-in and they're fine with it. I feel like when we were in
Mhm.
Japan, a lot of the
Probably
places
a
we
similar
weren't allowed
deal
to check in, or we could kind of check in, but they didn't have the room ready until noon anyway. So you'd have to like leave your bags and go do stuff and come back. I don't know. It's
That sounds more likely.
Yeah, I've had that at events, but like just like road travel of here's like a cheaper hotel, just walk in.
yeah,
and
they're
get
probably
a room.
fine with it. But in this world, you would expect, especially in a smaller inn, as long as somebody's awake, they'll probably check you in. You might need to ring a bell and wake someone up, but gold's gold. They'll
All right.
take
Well,
the money.
whereabouts was that very fancy magic item collector man that we met recently? His shop that he led us to, was that in the north part of town or the south part of town?
I believe it was in the kind of south central part of town, somewhere around here, I want to say.
If I look at the map, I'm guessing that the north section is probably more residential and the south is more commercial.
Yeah, I think the
South
very
Ears.
north section, I'm not super up to date on my Riddleport lore, so I might change it later, but I think the very north section is mostly nobles and stuff, and the rest of it is all just
Okay.
kind of scattered residential mixed with shops and guilds and things. It's a very mercantile
Then
city.
probably we'll go down this south road to the entrance here. Head into town, find an inn around there.
Sorry, were you guys actually
shopping
stopping in the
district.
woods first to
Commercial
prep
district.
spells? Is that what was happening, or no? That never got.
I think
explicitly
they
stated.
convinced me that we can do that in a room. That
Okay.
someone will let us into a room at
All right.
sunrise.
Are you guys still
so, yeah, if
maintaining
we had-
windwalk? Are you flying into the city, or are you just landing on the road and walking in?
I don't know. What kind of entrance do you want to make?
A very toned down and not at all one.
Okay, then we'll.
In fact, I don't even want to go in there.
Yeah, I think despite the recent events, I think the slightly low profile is still I don't think it's appropriate to just go showing off.
I mean, that's fine with me. We can land. And we do so, I suppose. We'll
Other
just,
than- We'll just come riding in on our giant dog and giant eagle instead of transforming from wind. That's just ostentatious.
I feel like that was sarcasm. I'm just not sure.
Okay, Greshy, you gently let the party, bring the party down in the woods just outside of town, and then you presumably ride Phelan. Asher, you just walk, and Gunn, are you flying into town on Rock?
Rock, would you like to stay out here and hunt for yourself for a while and live in the... Would you find us again if we start to leave?
Rock nods his head and flaps his wings and
I can send
takes off.
I can send to you as well. Oh no, I can use Familiar's Face to find him, I think. Wait, that might have to be short range when you cast it. Sending would work though. Anyway,
Yeah,
we'll
Rock
have ways
just-
to reach out to him.
Yeah, Rock just flies up into one of the trees nearby. One of the
Thought
larger
he might
trees.
like that since he's been cooped up in the 1 mile range. Perfect. Since he's been cooped up in the Runeforge for so long, it's just nice to get some nature time.
All right. Well, with that, the party goes walking into town. Asher somewhat reluctantly, I suppose. Along
Mhm.
the main entrance from the east to the west. The road is loosely guarded. There's a couple of mercenaries outside the pass that leads into town. They just kind of nod at you. They don't really bother checking papers or anything. They see that you're clearly not soldiers or not soldiers, not merchants rather, and don't bother trying to check you for anything. And you just make your way into town unaccosted. Once you're there, where do you go? The streets are pretty quiet this late at night. There's still some carriages bustling through. Still a bit of foot traffic, but
We didn't stay at an inn before when we
Well,
were here, but
I did, but I wouldn't recommend it. It was not a good particular place. It was familiar, which is not exactly ideal.
do I know of a decent inn that is somewhat near to that fancy magic shop? Magic collectors
you know
slash
of
magic
a
collector's
couple.
house. I think he gave us his card.
I believe he did, yes. So you could go in that direction. Gunn is familiar enough with Riddleport to just kind of lead you over there without any trouble. You walk through the city, and you just look around to see if there's any nice-looking inns around. And you do find one, and it's called the Maiden's Mare.
That's a decent place.
It's unlike many of the other inns around, it actually looks like it was either renovated or built within the last, 20 years. The sign looks fairly new. They've got curtains on the windows. They've actually got glass panes in their windows, which is also fairly rare.
Oh, that is fancy.
And there's a single lantern lit just outside, indicating that there's probably somebody on staff awake at the time.
Yeah, if we enter in the front door, we can ask about standard rooms and meals and
Okay. You
get something
enter-
for today.
Yeah, you enter, and there is an elven gentleman of unknown age. He looks fairly youthful, but it can be hard to tell with elves. He has very deep purple hair tied into a long ponytail, and he's nodded off in the corner of the entryway. Had a book in his hand, and at the sound of knock at the door and the door opening, he kind of startles awake and sorry, guests. He looks at the three of you. You're not already staying here, right? Welcome to the Maiden's Mare. Sorry, just nodded off there. How can I help you?
No, we are not staying here yet, but we would. You have rooms available this time?
Yes.
probably-
How many rooms would you be needing? We've got. I suppose we've got four rooms available. Or you can sleep in the open area. That's only a copper, or it'd be a gold for one of our single rooms.
I don't mind Sharon if you want, but
A gold is that the going rate around here? That doesn't sound like the going rate. You trying
no,
to-
the gold is the golden going rate for rooms. Yeah, tends to be.
Is that accurate
Yes, that's the number that's in the
per night?
core rule
I'm
book.
asking out of. Oh, okay.
Yes, in the core rulebook, the going rate for a
everyone gets a
room, I
personal
believe,
room.
is 1 gold
I'll-
per night. If you want a single room, if you want to share the floor with other people, that's just a copper for 1 night.
I think for 1 night I'll do a single room. So
all right, single room sounds fine to me.
I'd like the penny pinching.
I mean, I don't actually care, but
I don't.
Yeah,
no, I
so
don't
much
care. I just think it's really
gold.
funny.
you know what? Because of Phelan being so big, I'm gonna go ahead and take my own room, and me and Phelan
Yeah.
will share that one, and you two can share the other one.
Well, I'll get my own room. I
Oh,
don't mind
okay.
sleeping by myself.
I just figured that Riddleport people would try to like jack the price, but
I
No,
see.
you would recognize that a gold is pretty standard for a nice room.
Okay.
Often it's maybe like a double bed or like 2 beds, but this place seems to only have single beds.
So
Gotcha.
don't have to share then. We'll take 3 rooms, I suppose.
All right. Okay. Here's your keys, and he takes the keys off the hooks, lays them out before you. They're just in the back there, right around the corner. We serve a light breakfast in the morning. Usually just biscuits and bread and muffins and things from the bakery across the street. But it's all included if you want.
That's nice. Is there a
Nice.
meat or butchery someplace nearby?
Yes, there's one just down the road.
Okay. I'll take care of it. My dog could use a bit of something beyond bread.
Sure, I could go by in the morning and pick up some scraps if you want.
Oh, that'd be quite appreciated. Thank you, Mr.
Oh, you can just call me Derek.
Derek. Well, thank you, Derek. Appreciate it.
And he nods and picks back up his book.
Well, I suppose we'll leave our our things. No, we'll probably not leave our things. We'll probably just carry everything since we've got these fancy bags.
Mine's mostly empty now.
Should be totally empty.
No, I have a vase.
Oh yeah.
You grabbed that after I.
I did in
Fill it up.
fact. I mean, it's not hiding it or anything. I just decided
Fair.
we had the room for it.
Fair enough. Good idea. I was thinking of priorities for the day being contacting folks, getting updates on the situation, and then maybe doing some shopping, see if there's anything we can find that'll help us on our quest before we look for information about the city we're searching for.
I mean, there are 3 of us. We could divvy up the tasks. I can go research and try and figure out if there's any information about Zinchalast, and I don't know if one of you wants to ask around about these Ogletune dwarves.
I could do that. I don't know if that'll be easier for me or easier for you, but
I suppose I could ask around too, but I'm not sure they're going to want to talk to me.
well, what's the proper name of the
Olgatuld, if it's who I think it is.
told?
Good.
Okay, Olga told. That then I will go ahead and I'll do that. I'll make that part of my
Ooh.
search today.
And then Asher, if you want to go shopping, I know that's super exciting for you.
Everything is super exciting for me in Riddleport.
I can tell you just
I love
love
it
how
here.
dirty they make the river and ugh.
Love it here.
Mhm.
What a wonderful place.
Well, we'll do some morning prep and then we'll head out into the town and make a ruckus.
Okay.
Ooh.
Cool. Cool. So, you make your way up to your room, set a few things down, each go about your individual rituals that you use to prepare spells. So you spend another hour here. And by this point in the morning, light is starting to come through the windows. But there's something a bit weird about the light. It's not the warm golden glow of the sun that you're used to. It's a very faint pale green. that creeps through your window.
Ah.
And that is where we shall end the episode for tonight. So if y'all had fun,
He's turned the sun into a lime. lemon
delicious
lime
lime
sun.
sun, lemon lime sun.
Yes, green. Green is
The worst
green,
flavor,
right?
Sunny D.
Green
All
was
right.
the color of greed, wasn't
I
it?
think so. Shit.
Green, turquoise. I've used a couple different colors, I think, at this point. But yeah, I hope you all had fun. Welcome to a new year. Hope it's better than every year that's come before it. For you personally, viewer, you. All right. Good night, everybody. I think same time next week, right? Same time next week.
Same
Yeah.
time next week.
Sounds good to me. Cool. See you there. It's a date. Bring a +1 if you
Hoagie.
want.
It's
sorry,
a
bring what?
wedding.
It's a wedding. Yeah, bring your +1s.
I
Bring
said
your
bring a
+2s if you
hoagie,
want.
but maybe just make sure to reserve the
hoagie
salmon.
is Greshy's +1.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
6, 7, 8-foot hoagie.
Very long hoagie. I'm trying to
Bring
share
your
with
hoagie
everyone.
+1s. Bring your non-hoagie +1s. Bring snacks. Bring muffins from the bakery next door. In any case, see you next.